Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion. Happy Friday to you. Welcome in. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Today, just got back downstairs if you couldn't tell from refilling my water bottle. Today, Friday, on this channel is Community Day, so I hope, I don't know what I was about to say there. I wanted to let you know that you are free to join us for this wonderful day where we focus on the community. And hello, good VJ. I saw your que pasa and el tiempo pasa. Yeah. But he's asking ¿Cómo estás? Estoy cansado, pero muy bien. ¿Y usted? Anyway, today is a day where I invite the community to come up with some conversation topics that you want to talk about, of course, relevant to this channel's content. ¿Qué tal, homie? I took Spanish in high school. You took a different dialect of Spanish than I speak, most likely. I don't really speak Spanish very well at all anyway, but the Spanish that I grew up on is Puerto Rican Spanish, and even then it's more like country Puerto Rican. There's such a thing. But yeah, okay. So Peter's promising to join us eventually, and I am going to switch over to, I just uploaded a video, apparently. I know enough to cross the border from the other side. We're going to the desktop. I'm going to move my work product out of the way, or leave it in the way. I don't really care. And get the bot open. But the Discord channel for being able to have a conversation on stream with your lovely voice is open and available for anyone who is interested in starting conversations or just talking about technology, software, your work products, your passion projects, anything. Yeah. Ooh. Awesome. So Good VJ says, meanwhile, I'm also doing assignment for week 8. Awesome. I hope you get it done and that it doesn't take too much strenuous effort, but that you learn a lot from it and practice a lot. Oh man, I really want to talk through the the approach that I decided to go with after Wednesday's stream, and it was really good. I loved Wednesday's stream. The thing I did not like about it was all of the negative language I was using. And I'm not like, a always talk positively, always be positive, because that can get toxic. I like to be real, but then there is an extent to being real that just kind of turns into toxic as well, where you're just being extra critical. And I was being extra critical on myself, and that was mostly because I'm showing you code that I'm actually putting out in production, and I'm not quite proud of what it looked like at the time. So I was essentially putting myself down before anyone else could. But yeah. Being truthful is better than being misleading. But yeah, it wasn't fully truthful. It was extra critical, a little unproportionately critical. But yeah, so I'm going forward, I'm going to be more mindful of that, and just, my code is my code. I hope you guys have opinions and do give feedback, but I won't be as critical. It looks like we're about to get rated by Code It Live. That sounds fun. So anyway, on Community Day, the thing. Oh, hello TBD, hello Mojo. Shout out for TBD Gamer, which I'll do in a couple seconds after they are done rating, so that your shout out can also get there. And actually, let me do a shout out for Ed Charbonneau first, but we will definitely shout you out, TBD, because I love your streams. But here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm getting rated by Code It Live. I could not have predicted this. Hi Ed, thank you so much for the raid. Hi Thindle, I saw that you were in Code It Live pair programming type stuff. It was awesome, but tell us all what you did. Here's a shout out for Code It Live. Can I say that Code It Live is like an official Telerik, not Telerik, Progress channel? Are you guys like official? Or is it more more focused on just showing software and you don't really want to like say it's Progress putting it on? But yeah, anyway, just let me know. But welcome in, check them out. They do a lot of really cool stuff. If you don't know who Progress are, they have created component libraries for all forms of .NET, including Blazor. They have a Blazor component library, and yeah, just cool stuff all around. I'm sure you've seen them around everywhere. But yeah, let's see. Where are we? Oh, the thing that I normally do on community days, since we just got rated, I may as well repost this. A raider from Code It Live. Community day from online. Anyway, I open up Discord and I invite any of you from the community to join a voice channel. And once you join the voice channel, type !waiting. That'll let me know that you're in there waiting to be pulled into the main stream's voice channel. And when I pull you in there, your voice will come over on the stream. I have my OBS virtual camera turned on, so you'll be able to watch what's on the screen directly in Discord. You'll have no lag as you're looking at the screen and all that stuff. And your voice will carry through on stream. I think I said that like 6 times already, but that also means that your voice will be on the mod is on the VOD as well. I got words. I know how to use English language once. But yeah, that's it. Feel free to join in Discord. If you are not comfortable using your voice over Discord, or just using your voice in general, you can still participate in Community Day by bringing up topics in chat. Okay, with that said, hello Napalm. Excuse me, hello Scott. You the real one, says Scott. Yeah, I was making it to I keep forgetting what word I'm trying to use here. Unfairly real. I was just being really unfair with myself and with you guys as well, because for me trying to say don't look at my code, don't look at my code, and I'm shoving it in your face, it's kind of just like rude. So I'm just gonna stop doing that. I learned that I couldn't effectively say tolerable yesterday. I have to really think about how to say it. Tolerable. I can't do a TBD impression accent thing. But yeah, it sounded like you have a lot of stuff going on today, TBD, so I hope that it's not super stressful and that you're able to get it all taken care of. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Oh, I didn't realize how much I needed regex attributes. This is numerical extract regex. I love these. It's not super stressful. Fun fact, everybody else I needed is either busy or sadly off sick today. Oh man. So my day freed up. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. I don't know if that means that it's just going to delay all this stuff or if it is just like it's going to break it up into more manageable chunks. Where are you angry? Wait, that's never happened. Okay, Control Z. We're not keeping that. That's weird. I'm so used to using that. Oh, it probably didn't finish the entire refactor. There was probably a missing using import. Oh, man, I have a lot of regex in here, so never mind that. That's a tomorrow problem. Tomorrow is Saturday. Let's just hope that it keeps being a tomorrow problem for at least 2 more days. Okay. I will get my bearings. Yeah, so just let me know if there are any topics that you want to bring up. One of the topics that came up a couple weeks ago was AI. I know it's a really tough topic to discuss without stepping on toes. And so I want to reiterate over and over that this, today especially, is all about being able to have opinions, letting them be opinions, and you, the viewer, should take anything that we say as an opinion, verify it for yourself, test it against yourself, do your own research, and have your own thoughts and opinions as well. Even if you disagree. When you disagree, the only thing that I ask is that you do so respectfully. All right, TBD Gamer is in the room. I'm pulling you in 3, 2, 1. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Ooh, I need to turn my headphones up, but your volume levels are good in OBS.
Nice. Cool.
There we go.
I decided to join because I was waiting for feedback on something else. So,
caller number 2, you're on the air.
I want to say about the you were saying how your code and you're feeling very self-conscious of it.
Oh yeah, that's the word, self-conscious. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I get that way all the time because I think it comes from, I've tried to learn a lot about what I'm doing as I've gone. I've tried, I'm using a lot of technologies that maybe I'm not 100% competent in, but I want to grow into them. So sometimes code isn't going to look perfect, and
right,
sometimes it's good enough. It does the job it needs to do, and you know how to change it later, or you can identify ways to change it later. But we all have opinions.
Yeah. But there's also a thing where it's like you do this preempt, like when you are putting it out in a public forum, you do this preemptive, let me put up my guards so that no one can hurt me by saying your code sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, I know my code sucks. I tell myself that every day. And that's just not needed.
So actually, as a self-reflection thing, the problem, I hit a problem on stream today that held me up for longer than I would like to admit. And I was actually talking with Mojo afterwards, and it actually turned out to be a really, really stupid problem from my perspective.
Oh no.
I told it to use identifier. So it was looking for identifier because I told it to use identifier. But I should know that code, right? It should be like, so that's one of those moments where I was like, I just want to shut the stream down and I want to go and figure this out because I'm just looking like an idiot. Because I'm like, oh yeah, and I fixed it, and I fixed it. And I'm like, oh no, 40 minutes later, I'm still working on it. So that was one of the more embarrassing moments. And I know I've had a few of them recently, actually, where something's been very simple. But in that case, what it has done, and again, I was talking to Mojo about what this has led me to, is the fact that what I've actually identified there is the code is now to the point where it's so complicated, I can't fit it all in my head at once.
Mhm.
And
That's a
there's
big
so
one.
many
I think
moving
that's what's
parts.
really affecting me.
Yeah, and I've got to, how do I accelerate in the future? What actions can I take? That might be diagrams, that might be documentation. In my case, I think it's going to be a documentation of workflow. Like, oh, you're adding this. Here's how you do it, right? That's what I need to do now. And I don't like admitting that the code's at the point where I can't fit it all in my head, but that project is actually getting quite meaty at this point with the features that have been added in recently. There's a lot more moving parts, and that's going to be worse going forward. So code isn't always at its best, and especially when you're trying to build something that's real. I mean, I know you're really building real stuff on stream, and
Finally.
and I'm building Liquid Sky, which I hope to be real, but yeah, it's important to understand your limitations and not try and fix all problems at once.
Definitely. Yeah, and like you said, it's or I guess you were pretty much saying it while I was typing in chat, but it's like it's one thing to have that mindset. Like I'm sure when you're by yourself and you're coding, you could be like, well, I'm just gonna leave it like this for now and then come
Yeah,
back to it because I know that it's working as is and I could improve it. But the more important thing right now is getting it to work instead
yeah.
of making it pristine. But
Mhm.
when you're streaming it, it's like, I don't want to leave it like that because I don't want people to think that this is what I do with my code or whatever your reason might be for
Yeah,
you know, wanting it to look pristine in front of other
yeah,
people.
yeah. And like I think you said it to begin with, right? You're okay for people to give you the feedback, and
Yeah.
and I ask for it all the time. Like, if you have any thoughts or opinions on what I'm doing, you're more than welcome to, you know, add them as long as it's constructive, right? As long as you're not saying your code's
Mm.
terrible, you're a terrible streamer, bye. That's not constructive. That's just trying to be mean. But if it's, oh, do you know you can do this? No, I didn't know I could do that. I think you've gone through a few of those in the last couple of weeks, where
Yeah.
someone's
Yeah.
taught you a different
Actually,
pattern or a
on
different way.
Wednesday, even.
Yeah. And you get to assess that. Oh,
Recent
how
as
do I feel
Wednesday.
about that? Is it better? Is it worse? And you get to learn and grow. Because again, .NET as a framework is massive.
Yeah.
Like, we
You can do
can't know
so
it
much with
all.
it. You
We
can do
can't know
anything.
every aspect. Yeah.
Anything.
Um, and you can't be an expert at all things.
You can definitely strive. I can definitely strive, I should say. It's still
Yeah.
like, idealistic goals that I have almost always. Where it would be nice if I could improve on all of the aspects of the framework that I use for my daily life. Keep
Mhm.
learning, keep growing with the framework, adapting to new ways to do things like the new Blazor template. It was a big disruptor for
Yeah.
needing my applications to stay with the latest .NET versions, for example, so that I can get the performance benefits.
Yeah.
But that is kind of requiring me to recreate my core application using the new templates. And then I just
Yeah.
found out that it's pretty easy to do that in the long run.
Yeah.
Lies tell most employees that. The
That you
which.
can't be all things.
Oh, they
Because, full
tell
stacks a
most
thing.
employers that. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of the
I mean,
employers believe that we are supposed to be expert at all things all the time.
yeah. I mean, in my head, I've got a perfect vision of what Liquid Sky should look like from the UI perspective. I can see it. I can like, oh, this would be cool if I could do this. I just have no ability to do it. So, so in my head, I've got a Picasso, and on actual screen, I've got a macaroni painting.
That's still going to sell for $10 million.
Actually, yeah, should be careful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Exactly. Kung Fu Keyboard is saying, I have some filthy code I found from 2016 last night. I didn't care how it looked. I just optimized it for speed. It categorizes data. That's what I'm assuming it says. Doing 80,000 comparisons in under 50 milliseconds. That's awesome. Originally, it was 20 seconds. The code is so ugly, I wouldn't want to show it to anyone. 26 projects? Lols, just kidding. Are you laughing at my 27 projects too? Please say yes.
Oh no, Thindle's here.
Hi, Thindle. Welcome back after your talk with Ed on Code It Live. Code It Live's channel. I mean, Mr. Charbonneau. You two had a post-stream chat. Awesome. It's fine. I have seen and heard of worse. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm airing out my laundry. Here's my bot that I just threw together for the stream. And I'm not proud of what it looks like. That's why I'm trying to do a bot remake. But in all honesty, I kind of just want to leave it like this since it works, it connects. The whole point of it was to have a nicely architected Blazor UI customizable bot that you would be able to download or clone, adapt to your needs. And a lot of this code now has come from our wonderful guest, TBD Gamer, which are a lot of the Twitch API turned into C# objects, which is going to be so cool. These are the two things that I needed right now. So I was going to get started into this. But at the same time, I'm like, do I really want to keep doing that, keep trying to do that, or do I want to spend Friday streams showing different code? I don't know. I haven't a clue. But yeah, I need these two soon.
Yeah, I've got to review the Twitch bot stuff.
I also wanted to look at what's his name's Peter's thing that he was playing with.
And YouTube as well. I've got to look at that. Enjoy your
yeah,
food.
The YouTube. Like, is there even a an API for YouTube for you to be able to use a bot?
I haven't seen one, but I know that I connected my Streamlabs to YouTube as well. So it definitely has the support for it somewhere. So if Streamlabs can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Oh. No. Repos get Peter. Thindle is saying, so I'm gonna run and grab a bite to nom and something to drink, and I'll try to be back in time to join you if you want. Just spent the last X hours talking though. I think you need special permissions for YouTube. Okay, don't quote me on that though. Yeah. I could see that being a thing though.
Whereas if you type YouTube and bot, it comes up with a lot of videos on writing bots on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want videos on how to write Twitch bots on YouTube. I want to write a bot for YouTube.
Bots for YouTube, guys. YouTube Inception. Hello, the Dark Adonis. And Peter is in the waiting room, pulling you in. And 3, 2, 1. Valdez.
Hello. I'm trying not to say talk over everyone, but I know you have to adjust levels. So I will.
And your levels are perfect because you guys are pretty consistent with the way you have your mics and stuff set up.
Yeah, it's called a USB headset with no options anywhere. It's beautiful. So
yeah, predictable too.
Yes.
As long as you don't have a Loki in front of your face while you're trying to talk at your mic.
The ultimate pop filter. Loki comes and lays across my lap, and then I can feel his little legs trying to move at the back to try and get himself
push
up
himself
onto my
up.
lap. Yeah, so he's trying to push himself up, but he tries to reserve the space first by laying across me.
This is mine.
Yeah, he's getting funny with that.
So good afternoon for everybody. I think.
Good mythical morning.
It is. Good day.
I don't think I'm
I
allowed
like
to
to
say
say
that.
good day.
Good day.
Yeah.
But and then it sounds like I'm dismissing someone.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, good day. But
well, you don't slap anyone across the face with a glove, you're fine.
Nice. Can't say I've ever done that.
Yeah. What, you mean assaulted someone? Yeah.
What?
Oh no, I've done that. Wait, what?
With a glove. There we go. Very important distinction.
I am stealing your worker service.
See, I literally was.
I know it's just testing around.
No, it's yeah. Go. I would love to talk about it because I keep I'm staring at the code and something is wrong in TwitchLib. Something isn't right. So
are you using TwitchLib as reference?
I'm doing Twitch. I'm using TwitchLib. It's great.
Oh, okay.
It saves a lot of time. Oh well, it actually hasn't at this point. But I never want to map chat actions and all that kind of stuff.
So I looked at TwitchLib when I first started streaming. I was like, I do not like this tool. I do not like the library. I do not like the interfaces. I think it's too restrictive. So I started writing my own, including writing right from the moment of the IRC stuff. So my bot starts at actually doing all the IRC communication. And then I mapped out the objects for the chat messages. So I use Sprake or Sprach, however you pronounce it, which is
it means speak, right?
I assume so. SPRACHE.
Yep.
So I use that and pass the content that comes back over IRC, and then create an object, and then just pass that off into a pipeline, so you can just kind of intercept that message wherever you need. So the command stuff is just a layer on top of that receives that message and says, oh, do I need to do something with this? So that's why my messages can execute and execute. In the command layer, you have a can execute, and it just tests to see, does this message meet certain criteria?
Kind of like a filter.
Yeah. So to me, it felt like more messages should be passed that way. And TwitchLib has all these event handlers and stuff you hook up to first. I'm like, no, I don't want to subscribe to all this stuff in this way.
Fully agree with that, by the way. That is it. I don't like C# events. I haven't liked them since I had to do WPF. And once you see and WPF has its own things. I've had to do memory leak, bug finding, which turns out it's really easy to have memory leaks on the WPF app. But yeah, ever since then, it's like, why would we ever use a native event? But if I know y'all are the Maui type people, and by y'all I mean general denizens of the stream, and because of that, y'all are more likely to actually have a valid use for C# events, because it kind of has that whole heritage of VB programming, button click events. Anyway, I think it's more valid there, but I still hate the events.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of difficult. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You first.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's kind of difficult to indicate that. Well, I guess maybe there's the whole pub sub thing, but for a class to notify anyone else that I have something that changed that I think you would want to act on.
Yeah,
That's why whoever it was that joined the stream of the week was using channels, because you can use that to kind of broadcast in a similar way, right? So it's basically a mediator built into the framework.
Yeah.
But my problem with the event subscription stuff like this is it's just messy and hard to, and you end up with creating a class with a load of methods on it. And even if you're dispatching those methods further, you end up with all, like, the natural pattern here is to build a class that has all these behaviors in it rather than just responding to those things.
Like
Like
a message
my
receiver.
yeah, my Twitch client core does have the events because it has to deal with the on content received sort of thing. But that's the only thing it does. It just says, "Hey, I got a message," and then that's the only event, and then I respond to that by handing it off to a pipeline. So I don't in any way have all this code dealing with errors and whatnot there. It's all handled by different people.
Can I first of all say event aggregator pattern was what they called it in WPF. So you can do stuff without C# events, but you end up, the code bases I saw, I haven't seen that many. You still have a lot of C# events, but you can do everything with event aggregator, get kind of the same benefits without the memory leaks, but it's, it's more stuff. You don't need more stuff always, so just do whatever. Anyway, so that's number one. Number two, I am obsessed with the login stuff. Can you switch over to my code?
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's still driving me crazy, even though I haven't worked on it for like 3 nights. I was just looking before all right. Line credentials, line 33, or I guess line 25 through 33. Like 25 is where it defines the credentials. Now, this is TwitchLib, and I've asked questions. I feel like I'm going crazy. When you define credentials for a chat connection, it asks for an existing user access token.
Right, exactly. And I remember you asking about this.
And then you say, well, I want to refresh it. How do I possibly refresh an access token, given that this is an, what's it called? This is a framework, and it is running an existing WebSocket connection. So does it expire and disconnect?
You see what I'm saying? I haven't ever changed the access token that you're talking about.
And you also do other stuff. So it's possible in the backend code, even though they ask for an access token, they may also fill in an updated access token from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe chat just
to figure that out.
Doesn't expire. Maybe that's a Twitch thing. Their chat tokens just don't expire. But it's driving me crazy.
I've run into a couple of situations where the bot just was no longer listening to chat, and I don't know whether that was a network issue or if it's an expired token thing, because I don't really have logs or anything, which is the thing that I really want to use yours for.
Yeah, get the one event subscription and wire it up to iLogger, and that's good. It's actually, you want error, and you want a bunch of those for logging purposes. But anyway, so I'm going insane. I'm gonna type it in chat. I am. Anyway.
I'm trying to find where I actually do that. The credentials part. I should have a connect to hub. And connect to hub. Oh, that's Signal R. Start Twitch connection with credentials. Yeah, this is like the thing that I just I'm not exactly sure what approach I ended up taking because I went through so many to get this working. And there's still a lot of commented out code that I just have no clue.
Yep, question marks. That's solid. Doing what it meant. It's doing exactly what it should, which is express dismay, basically.
Because this is all the client. I need the server side. Well, gosh, I need both.
So I'm not too worried about it, but well, let me rephrase that. I keep they call it nerd sniping. I keep like obsessing over the fact that this is not right and it needs to be reliable, and I can just throw it on a machine and run it for 24 hours and just put it maybe as a startup service on some sort of machine and just have it run all the time on a machine that's always running. That would be nice.
Will Twitch update their chat client stuff?
Wait, are you saying Twitch or TwitchLib?
Twitch. Twitch is changing away from IRC for messaging to PubSub.
So maybe I should look into PubSub instead of...
Yeah, I think it is still PubSub, but it's...
Helix.
Yeah, they announced it last year. Not API either. It's yeah. Good luck digging through Twitch's documentation.
Yeah, it's.
I definitely have a client for both. In this thing where I'm using the PubSub for things like redemptions, so we can see when something is claimed. But the Twitch client, it sounds like we're going to be pretty much only having the Twitch PubSub, which means that we won't be able to have any public clients anymore, because PubSub requires client secrets. Radio Patrick says Twitch docs are total butts. Agreed. How goes it today?
Not wrong.
Oh, and of course he's reminding me I want to shout him out, but first I had someone else in my queue. I want to shout out TBD Gamer, who does stream.net development. You heard him talking about Liquid Sky a little bit earlier. That's his application for doing project management and planning, and it's going to be really cool. Feel free to talk about it more if you want, whenever, anytime. Here, this is what I'm looking for.
Initialize and connect. There's
What I was trying to find is my implementation of iTwitch client. So where's my dependency injection for that? Yeah, so I have it defined in app settings or user secrets or whatever.
You see,
these Twitch options.
Using this library reminds me, I'm gonna go find the daily WTF glass bottle or old shoe. So when they say choose, oh come on, where is it? Basically, let me say, he says, you know, people present these nice articles about choosing the right tool, and he says they assume you mean like a hammer versus a screwdriver. Use the tool for the job. He says in reality, though, the tools you generally end up with are either a glass bottle or an old shoe to hammer in a nail. And he says those are the two options generally, and he's very cynical. It kind of seems
like it, especially in .NET.
I mean, everyone has that, and it's like, he listed out the pros and cons of a glass bottle. It's hard, but it can shatter, So you gotta so to accommodate, you have to like hit it a little less hard and maybe hit on the corner. He had all the I'm gonna find the article.
The workaround type things.
You have to find the workarounds, things to avoid, and then with the old shoe, it's like, well, it's not as hard. I
love this analogy.
Oh, I gotta find it. All right, talk amongst yourselves.
Well, Radio Patrick said, I've been working most of today on just trying to get the damn Spotify auth tokens sorted out without page redirects. So ideally just using JS fetch statements and ideally without having to host a callback server. Yeah, that's not really a thing with secure clients because that three-legged handshake or auth, I said handshake. The three-legged auth is like the current standard for doing API auth, at least from what I've found. Are you okay? Are you gonna live?
Me coughing? Yeah, I forget I'm on a mic too. I could have totally lifted that up.
Commerce.
So everyone go read that 19-year-old article. And I will say tooling has gotten better in roughly 19 years. Man, this is the OG. Weblogs, ASP.NET. Like, they were called weblogs. We hadn't settled on blogs yet when they were invented in like 2000-ish, 2001-ish. And like, the Microsoft, a lot of Microsoft employees would blog, and it was like a flood of great information. People stopped.
Real quick for you, Peter. This is what I'm using for generating the
TMI
IRC password.
Oh, Twitch at TMI, yep.
And I think this is the token that you're talking about that they keep asking for a new one. But I've only ever generated one of these.
Yeah. Maybe the docs will actually tell me. So I've gone further. So TMI you're not supposed to use because one day the malicious owner, you're granting a third-party app rights to your channel. Whatever scopes you granted, they're granted now. So that's number one. So there is a Twitch CLI, or you can make a raw OAuth call, which I've not done. But I've used Twitch CLI to generate my own OAuth tokens. And honestly, I've never seen them expire in Twitch chat. Oh man, look at that tiny text. What a great.
It shows how
for everyone who's now getting a tan.
Because Blogger launched in 1999, so Microsoft was still on weblogs back in 2005.
I think this guy ended up making the daily WTF.
Yeah.
The dailywtf.com, which was a amazing site.
It was, yeah.
When you like have imposter syndrome, you can read Daily WTF and feel a lot better about yourself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that he anyway. So there you go. There's your glass bottle or whatever shoe. Great.
Secure client API.
You said the TMI, they don't recommend using it because it's third party. That wouldn't have existed had Twitch actually put the right tools in place from the beginning to do the things that the documentation made really obscure.
I do agree with that. It's like not one person. And by the way, they have a Twitch CLI, which there are 2 users in the entire world. It's me and Setalegs, because I've asked everyone about these auth things. Anyway, it will generate an OAuth token properly, but you do have to register your own Twitch application.
Yeah. Right.
So
yeah,
you still have to make your own. Yeah.
Dev.twitch, twitch.dev.
It's in my README, but then I forgot to add the scopes and literally tried to generate a token with my own instructions.
Fine. We got scopes.
What scopes do you have?
TBD. We got all the scopes. Where did I see them?
It's usually when you do, if you're copying from TMI.
You specify them yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, if you, bleh, it's fine.
Is that Peter's code?
Yours.
Oh, this is because I was building this. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how the heck because I was trying to get the flow,
No,
the
I
auth
like this
flow working
approach.
properly. It
Yeah.
was driving me nuts.
And it's kind of cool because, like, Captain Commerce was just saying that. First of all, like, there's so many coincidences happening. Captain Commerce was thinking earlier this morning about weblogs and how we called them web logs before, and then we started talking about auth flow, and then yeah, we're still on the topic of auth flow and scopes, and anyway, I like that.
Huh.
Patrick
So
is
yeah,
saying.
auth flow. Oh, go ahead.
He's saying I'm a genius. You go ahead.
That's all that matters. So Authflow, real quick, is at least for secure clients. You could also have the whole PKCE in the middle of it, where you get a token and you have to like prove that you are the originator of the request by um, decrypting, providing the original value of the token, which is a one-way hash token. Anyway, not token, code. But the authflow in general is your client app will send a request to the authorization server. And then that authorization server will say, let's just make sure these credentials are correct. Yes, they are. Here is a code that you get back, an access code. They're calling it access token here, that your server will then turn around and use your private secret key to send back to the server in the header and say, this is missing a step. That's what's happening. So it sends back a code that your server will send another post to the auth server that says, I would like to exchange this for a token. And yeah, why isn't that in here?
Maybe
That's
this
weird.
is a different. This is client credit. I don't know which.
Yeah, this does look
credentials
like
flow.
just regular client credentials flow. Yeah, which we shouldn't be using anymore.
Goodness.
Interesting.
It's impressive that you have memorized this to this point. Good for you. OAuth hopefully will live forever, just so we won't have to learn OAuth 3 or 4 or whatever we end up with. So I'll learn one sad off thing and hopefully that'll be enough. But it's impressive you know all this. But yeah, I think
Well, it's
it's
only
a
because I had
different
to do
flow.
it so much from a
Why?
public app that is insecure, unsecure,
Mm-hmm.
an unsecured public app that I needed to use some kind of way to give us an auth token that we could access certain API endpoints with. And we can't do that without a server. So that's the hard part.
All right, I want to answer Radio Patrick. Why do I use the Twitch CLI? It's like any GitHub CLI or, any CLI of any kind. Like you either find something, one of the verbs is useful to you or not. The only one I care about right now in Twitch CLI is the token one, the one that gets a user token. And it is good for bootstrapping a Twitch bot. And then I am not sure the tokens it generates will last very long. So I am not sure it is good to use, but my little sample that one's going over is kind of relies on it. Relies on the first token generated by Twitch CLI. Anyway, what
Yeah, and
else we
again,
got?
that one can only be done for IRC, because I mean, unless you are having us provide our client secret in here, in which case you can do pub sub with that one. But yeah.
All right, y'all and chat. Line 43. First of all, line 43 is the only one that actually does anything useful. This is where you receive a chat message and you can start doing fun stuff then. So that's where a real bot would go. I need to highlight that by moving it. But white space. I think JetBrains did this for me. Would you put it on the same line or do what JetBrains did, which is put it on
I'm
a
glad
second
you're
line?
asking chat and not me because I have different opinions.
Well, everyone's got one. So line 43, one line, two lines, or multiples other. Also,
So
I'm
what
saying
do I
one
do?
lines, and it sounds like your name, which is awkward.
Wait, why did it give me the whole thing? So this would be a method called handle message received. Oh, I can't.
Everyone in chat is dead.
Handle.
I was waiting to see what one line would do, and yeah, I think I'm on the same page. I'd break them out.
And then whatever
methods.
these args are supposed to be. But yeah, TBD's like,
no
into
all that
methods.
noise.
Every single one of these would become a method.
A method.
Just the proximity of all those events.
Yeah, they are.
Drives me nuts with all that like inline function stuff. I'm like, no, no inline delegates. It's just like methods outside.
So let me ask a second related question. Wait, Radio Patrick says LOL, which thank you. I'd probably put it on a second line because it's a long log statement. Would go reasonably past. But y'all both chose the other, and you outnumber us. So.
But that's because TBD and I are fairly similar with like just a couple of deviating paths that are wildly different, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You can say widely and wildly, and then you're covered. I think I know what you're going for, right?
Yeah.
Widely and wildly.
We either completely agree on something or we completely disagree.
Yeah.
And see, this is something I'm learning in my old age, which what I'm saying is I'm enlightened and no one else is. But I honestly am learning in general that like methods, like if you, especially for demos, like you'll notice professional demos, there are no distractions in a professional demo. It is the minimum lines of code to get something working. So like at the very top of this worker service, there's a bunch of lines about grabbing info from configuration. And I did the minimum thing possible to grab configuration values. And then, lines 13 through 23-ish. So I did one extra thing, which it actually really helps when you're me and you forget stuff every 2 seconds. It checks to make sure they're not empty. Oh no, my instructions say environment variables. You can do, because this is .NET configuration, you can add them. You can just add them, and they're not in a section either. So you would have to add them.
Yeah,
at the
that was
top
the other
level.
thing I was looking at. Is like my approach is definitely C#y, which is like not in logging, which redemptions or whatever you want to call it.
Patrick's comment, and I'm like, my code must drive you crazy, and I'm definitely not on the younger dev side. That's for certain.
No,
even if it's a single line, if it's an if, like with a return or something, I still put that in curly braces and lines. I do like the visual breakup of a screen. I put spaces between areas of code. I do when I'm reading the code, I like to see the separation. It drives me crazy when people like put a load of stuff like variable assignments, etc., in a single set of lines. Fine, no spaces between them. But if then there's a method call or an if or whatever, there's a space in between those and the next thing, and I see people like jam them all up together. It drives me crazy. So I break things out.
Yeah, that's fine. I will say, like, I have preferences for my own code, but it's 98% like, please be consistent.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. I think I will adopt everyone else's. Like my boss at this job, when I joined, he's like, yeah, we do tabs instead of spaces. And I was like, oh no, he's one of those. But you know what? We made it work mostly, except for the few devs who didn't adopt it, and so we still have some spaces instead of tabs here and there. Anyway, it's all good. What else we got?
So, like, does this bother you? For
if
single line if and else's,
no,
and
you
even
see,
having inline.
I do think everything starts getting like really long, but like it's not. It's so small. Like it's so small. Also, I need to improve
Patrick
the
doesn't
ping
like
pong
this if
stuff.
else.
I need to improve that because what I noticed when I was running this app is that when it was like 90% ping pong messages. By the way, y'all, trace exists as a logging thing. Trace. All right.
Well, I think this is the main reason is because you're outputting. Oh, one is log debug and one is log trace. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One prevents a lot of
Gotcha.
noise, and that is why I'm doing it. Maybe I should have a comment. I honestly thought about that. Should I just comment this? I guess.
No, people should understand what log trace and log debug.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the only thing a comment would do here is point out that these are not the same method.
Yeah. So,
but that's on us. That's not on you.
Yeah, but like that's on all of us if it's confusing more than one person reading it. All right, what do we got? I'm gonna try and read chat.
Braces president, not sure. Okay.
Silently.
So I have a so it's a similar topic, but it's a bit of a diversion, a kind of an opinion thing.
Anything.
And useful while Peter's in here as well. So
very welcome.
I'm about to do the leave it better than you found it presentation.
Yes.
Right? It's finally time for me to get annoyed enough at the code base I see every day to finally pluck up the courage to say, okay, we're doing a leave it better than you found it. Right?
Is this a work thing or a public thing?
Work thing. So I'm assuming that most people have been through this at some point, but I might be wrong. So like, I assume most people have heard of the Boy Scout rule. The leave it better than you found it, which is actually the Baden-Powell phrase. Leave this world better than you found it, because it was his final address to the Boy Scouts. But basically, I'm trying to present to the development team, look, we need to improve things. We need to get things better. And this kind of plays into this whole thing, like standards. So I've actually put in a slide in there that says blah, 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 coding standards. We document them, we forget about them, then we say things like we need to and we should. And then unit testing. We say new code should be unit tested, then we can't see the wood for the trees. And then we complain about quality software, then we complain about we don't have time. Right? So I'm kind of presenting this. So I'm opening it, and I just want to get kind of if there's any feedback on this. I'm going to start the slides with, this presentation is not an attack on the software. It's developers, past or present. And it's meant to be highlighting things that we likely know, but always accept. Or probably accept a little too quickly. And the purpose is to get us thinking about how we as individuals can tackle the problems head on while making our lives easier. So that's kind of how I'm presenting it.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
I have one thought, one major thought, which is when I have been the checked out developer who was pessimistic, there were obvious to me problems in the code base bigger than whatever was being brought up in one of these presentations.
Right.
So they'll say, we need to get our, like, I would always identify a developer who cared a lot about spacing as one who was out of touch.
Right.
And that's messed up, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think if you ask the team, like, hey, what do you think is your one major issue in the code that we haven't addressed? And you don't have to tell them they're out of touch if they have a bad answer. But like you might be surprised. They might say we have data consistency problems that are just waiting to appear as bugs. And like I just think like you see what I'm saying. Most of you might end up with a different list going out than you did coming into the presentation of things to fix. But I think that'd be curious.
But
and
at least you would have
get
gotten
those
team
people.
involvement.
I mean, who knows? And throwing that question on them if they haven't thought about it, who knows?
So that gives me an idea there. In that, what I might do, because you can with Google and stuff, you can attach forms. So I might open the presentation with, "There's a form here. I'd like to know what the worst thing you find about the software, or the biggest challenge, or however how you ever phrase it. What do you think is the thing that you wanted to focus on the most in the software?" And see if I can get them to engage at that point. And see if I can get some feedback that way, but then go through the presentation.
Because like for me, what I learned at this job was that, well, I kind of knew it before, but I had to live it, is the code quality, the ability for a program to run and be fault tolerant and recover by itself is more valuable to me than all of these things. Like almost more valuable than testing. Testing, obviously, but you see what I'm saying? Something very good that, and yet I think this other thing, and like monitoring for difficult troubleshooting sessions, I found the value of monitoring. So what are your devs might say, well, we need monitoring. Anyway, what do we got? I'm once again silently
I still
reading
agree with that. Like the thing that would have happened to me if you started off a presentation with, so there's this concept called leave things better than you found them, and you would have sold me, and I would have done whatever you asked. Because I mean, that's like one of my core motivators.
Yeah. So the way I'm going to present it is I'm like, the title of it is "Leave it better than you found it," and then the actual quote is, "Try to leave this world a little better than you found it." And I'm going to say, like, I'm kind of lining up a joke because I do realize the importance of putting a little bit of humor in here. When Baden Powell said it, it was a little bit more final. Like he was dying. Take care.
Okay.
He was being a little bit more final because he was saying goodbye. I'm hoping it doesn't take until that time for me to get this better. I don't want it to be a final statement of "Please leave it better than you found it. I'm going now. Bye."
These are my parting words to you.
Yeah, I am hoping these aren't my parting words. So that's how I want to introduce. But again, I want to be like, the long-term goal is to create the code base you have no fear of changing. You understand how to estimate effectively, and you can adapt it and change it to the growing market, right? So just kind of trying to feed back, and again, it's not an attack on the developers because I've actually put in like code snippets, and I was saying again, Mojo and I talk a lot in my Discord and stuff. So I've been saying like, I don't do blame. I don't believe in using blame in Git. Because I think it's counterproductive to the process. Like the team should be owning mistakes and successes. So what does blame matter? If you have a problem, fix the problem. Don't worry about who did it. Because you should know who did it, right? Because you should be able to see
if you're an effective team.
Oh, we released this feature. Yeah, I know who worked on that feature. Let's go talk to them, right? Like we've got a comment in the code / to do broken and will not work as expected.
Yes, that's exactly how to do statement should be. Kind of curious about what I did.
Now I realize.
Oh, you didn't sound happy about that. Like, no, stop encouraging.
I realize that what will happen is after my presentation, a bunch of developers will go off and start doing blame on the code to figure out who did it. I get that, but it's for us to fix, and that's kind of my purpose. But yeah, I wondered what anyone else thought about this entire approach to presenting, and I like the idea of getting the feedback.
Yeah, one of the main things is that you kind of have to get people to buy in or care about whatever it is that you're talking about. And like I said, the way that you got me to care about it is talking about something that's in my value system. So, do you know your team well enough to use language that is going to attract them and make them feel like, hey, this is something that I want to talk about and engage in? Or are they just going to approach it like, man, we have to go through another one of these of someone telling me what their opinion
in
is?
4 cares, because I've been asking to meet the other teams, and I haven't actually been given the chance to talk to them yet, so they don't know me yet.
People dynamics is fun, says Mojo. President Not Sure was responding to you saying, I use annotate instead of blame.
Yeah, that is much nicer sounding. Annotate, TF annotate. I'm here. I'm back.
I'm back.
Yeah. Did y'all hear the train horns going off? That's my phone.
No.
Okay.
No, actually.
Nice cancellation as well.
Hey, yeah. USB headsets. All right, here's rant number 2 for the day.
Wow.
I forgot exactly what number 1. USB headsets. Everyone go buy one. Wired.
Yeah.
Now, it does have its own problems. I have yeah, you can be the person who is gonna go out of their way to like get a proper setup, but like not me. I just want sound and hearing, and I'm willing to put this massive thing on my head and look like an idiot in video calls. And it doesn't look that bad, but I do look like a gamer. I'm about to, get on with my Counter-Strike clan. Anyway,
They like
USB
we wanted
headsets.
to see some CS.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. It is Friday, so. All right, sorry. That was a rant. Just the point is, Mojo's in here. Oh, I heard a ding. You have to say something.
Hello.
Hello.
I mean, hi. Good volume.
Good volume. We did it. Keep going.
All right, USB headset. This is the thing. You plug it in, it starts working. You unplug it, it stops. And they even sometimes have a mute button on them, and it's incredible. And they cost like $10. And you find them on the side of the street, and like they're just, accidentally step on them. They're so cheap. Put an extra
$10 on the side of the street?
Sure. No, a headset. It's even cheaper. It's worthless. But it does seem like they're really cheap. But yeah, get the ones that are USB though. The ones that are straight audio.
They have their own like little sound card thing in them, and
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I like this.
It's fine.
I only started needing that when I was playing with music again, because like I was thinking I could just keep my Bluetooth headphones on, walk to piano, walk to whatever else, and the lag on them is so bad. So I had to start using wired. It's so annoying. I don't like being tethered. Just saying.
I will also say Bluetooth should work better. But for whatever reason, I am cursed. I have the anti-wireless field surrounding me. And so every single wireless device I've tried with this Windows machine has failed. Badly. So I actually have to do wired, but whatever. Like, and it's not Canby, and it's not just sound devices. I have a Xbox Elite controller that was basically keep plugged in all the time now because it's garbage. And yeah, a lot of garbage.
That's sad. That's sad, TBD. That makes me hurt.
Yeah, it made me as well, because I'll never hear the end of it.
Well, to be fair, you can't hear any of it because you lost some. I kid.
Too
So
soon?
I've collected quite a few pairs of headphones over the years. I like to understand the difference between cheap and good. So I have
Oh
like
yeah.
the over ear headphones and the WMXM, the WM5s and the 2s from Sony. And when I traveled again, my wife was like, "Here's a $20 pair of headphones. Take these with you." I'm like, "No, I'm taking my 300."
Can't listen to stuff out of that.
Yeah. I'm like, ugh, no.
This is what I look like.
Yeah.
Like you can't even see it because I have so much hair now, but these are monitor headphones.
Oh, fancy.
So they flatten out the entire sound curve and everything just sounds so crisp and nice. Then I try playing whatever it is that I'm writing through regular speakers and I'm like, where did all the sound go? So I need to learn how to balance that better.
The sound. Do you have an external?
I have a Focusrite. This thing. Well, I mean, I have the tractor control, of course, but I don't really use that for the sound. But this Focusrite thing has a ASIO driver in it.
So I have like 4 different sound output devices hooked up on my computer. The sound mixer is great. The Windows sound mixer is pretty great.
Oh yeah. And of course, Fruity Loop Studio.
Well, I'm quiet because I don't know anything.
Oh, yeah, we went to music. Let's go back to software.
No, it's good.
Oh, I don't mind.
Quiet. And then I talk in high-pitched voice. Radio Patrick is talking about Bluetooth, and Windows Sound Mixer was probably the one thing they actually did right for once. Now that's hater talk, Radio Patrick, but I agree.
I wish they put it like more at the forefront. It's not like, I think they also mix it with like the volume mixer, which is not the same app.
Exactly. You have to like
or
go
settings.
into so like here's volume mixer, and then like I do use this so that I can tell it which audio output to have some things routed to, but I'll play some music while we continue our conversations. No, I'm not going to open. Oh yeah, one more thing on music. One thing I found out on a couple of the computers is when I am in Fruity Loops and it switches ASIO drivers, it tends to be SOD. It's bad.
That's no fun.
And then after I'm done with whatever it is that I'm playing with, I'll go upstairs to cook. And then I come back downstairs and the computer is restarted because it most likely be SOD-ed again. Just scary. Kind of makes me not want to do that.
I'm sorry, I'm quiet because I'm making a form.
You're going forward with it.
Yeah, I like the idea of I'm going to present it at the beginning and share the link, and that way I can
Yeah, so I had Voicemeeter for a while because like doesn't Voicemeeter also allow you to output your audio to multiple devices at the same time? Maybe? Does anyone know that?
Yeah,
I do not.
Yeah, Voicemeeter you can do all sorts of cool stuff with. I've used it in the past.
And I've been wanting to do that because I want to be able to hear from multiple sources at the same time.
Yeah, when I wanted to get game streaming set up on a different PC, I ended up messing around with it because I wanted to use the same microphone off the the game PC, but yeah, it got messy.
Peter. So Miss Dota says, I love doing OAuth flows so much with exclamation points and no kappa face either.
Again, everyone has their expertise.
Big kappa.
Yeah. Anyway. By the way, Sniper is the most disgusting Dota hero in Turbo, just so you all know.
And is your name actually a mix of Mist the game and Dota, or is there like some character in Dota that is Mist?
We'll find out.
Oh man, I was gonna
Napalm, always wise. OAuth is the devil, especially in AAD Intra. Thank you, OAuth. Thank you, OAuth.
It doesn't have to be, but man, why has it got to be so difficult to implement? When I was young, says Miss Dota. That never happened. I play all the high skill heroes, but now that I'm old, yes, I do just sit back and choose Sniper.
Yeah, don't worry. This is a Dota conference. Just pretend we're not talking. Pretend we're not even here.
Not gonna do.
I told
I'll keep up with all
Mojo
of the conversations.
when I did League, I like singed. So for the League of Legends players, singed.
Honestly, that tracks. Like, it makes so much sense. And for
Yeah,
the
'cause
League
he's a
players,
troll.
like, they're gonna know.
Yeah.
One of the most hated champs.
And I would spam the laugh emoji, which it was necessary. You pop your ult and start spamming the laugh emoji, and then just start running at people, and then running away, then running, then getting the entire team to follow you if you're at low enough to level. It was awesome. Anyway, so
Like silencer and press R.
See, these are all Dota things we don't acknowledge. But anyway.
Well, in Terra, if you played as an Elin, all you had to do was press Z, I think. It pretty much comboed all of your skills one after the other, and Z was like the one to activate the next combo. You just push it over and over.
For Americans in chat, what is Z?
Z.
Okay, thank you.
I don't even know when I picked up. I don't know when I picked up saying Z. I think it was because like I really loved Skins, and that was a UK show, and I loved the way they said Z, and so I say Z.
It's not for me. It's the one thing that I adapt to because I don't want to get picked out for it every single time.
Yeah.
What do you mean get picked out for it?
I was about to pick him out for it.
Yeah, and H. Yep.
Yeah.
I say H.
My daughter mocks me for that all the time. She's like, "You say that letter funny." No.
To Z
my
or not
stepdad grew up in my stepdad grew up in the West Indies, so he learned the Queen's English. So growing up with him, he'd always say like schedule.
Shit.
And he's also a big Z user.
The text editor, or sorry, I'm finally catching on to the conversation. We're talking about talking.
Do you like the text editor?
No, I don't know anything about it. I'm a normie, man. I use VS Code, and because I'm so pro, I have the Vim plugin activated. So that's as close as I get to being whatever.
I should
next.
Yes. I'm sorry. What are we?
I should do a stream reward. Have my editor go into Vim and see what angry CBD gets. It's like,
hey, I've got thousands of points.
Most people do. I should have turned them off a long time ago. But I want to do something with them one day. I promise.
Yeah.
I keep saying that.
If I ever finish this chatbot. A demo, I'm gonna submit it to C# Fritz. Apparently, he said on Twitter, no one ever uses the code review button And he has a code review. Like, I will review your code for 10,000 points. It's not that many.
I will start watching him if I could get my work code reviewed.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think he's doing work for you, but I think a demo app might be about the right size.
So your plan would be to see C# Fritz crying in a corner.
Yes. Yeah.
Both because of pain.
30 Twitch clips.
I started watching, just going to Twitch and discovering 119 like a year and a half ago. And I always ask questions using, and again, my only context, for a while was just like my work code. And I didn't realize how often like questions I was asking didn't make sense until I started learning like just, I don't even want to say like best practices, like just practices in general. Started realizing that like, oh no, our work code is just yeah.
It's on a different level, that is for certain.
We've got an 11,000 line class with a 7,500 line method, whole bunch of repeated fors, loops and if statements, and it's that's just one file.
It's special.
That, I don't know. Anyway, 7,500 in a single function seems crazy to me, but so be it.
I can't show Twitch, but I'm willing to show most off, like in Discord.
No, I'm good. Don't share. Discord's forever, by the way. Like, Slack pretends like your data is so expensive to host. So if you go to a community Slack, they're like, all right, we're cutting you off after like, it feels like 0 days of retention.
Yeah.
But Discord, it's there, searchable for the rest of your life. So just keep that in mind.
I'll do it on stream. Don't worry.
Nice.
It's yeah, no, well, I mean, y'all have been here for the whole time I have. I think about a year ago, like I was asking questions about doing rewrite versus refactor. We've gone nowhere with that, by the way. Like there's almost no code to show for the rewrite route that they went with. And this week, I convinced them to just focus on a refactor. So we'll see how that goes. I was a little bit happy at first. I was like, oh, I convinced them to do something that's going to be simpler, and basically just like there's a lot of like risk in us missing things. But now I'm scared because now we actually have to execute on it, and I look at this code and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I feel it. I will just say vaguely that I understand your apprehension, and I think everyone has some bad code that they're not going to fix really, and that if they survive 10 more years, they're going to have the same problems in 10 years. Everyone has that, and honestly, getting a new job is like, it's like a breath of fresh air, even though it's the exact same problems in a sense. It feels like a fresh start where everything's possible. You could fix everything, even though in reality it might be exactly the same. But
it's like opening the window for 5 minutes in a long road trip. Freshens the air for a few, but then it gets stinky real quick again.
Yeah. A lot of fart smell.
I didn't say that. I didn't think
I did.
I have to drop because I have to have a call about leaving it better than you found it. So I want to say thank you very much for the feedback, and the ideas. And, they have been implemented.
Right.
And as far as my stand-up goes, this week on Liquid Sky, I made some really rookie mistakes, forgot to rename some things, tripped over myself multiple times, realized that time estimates are a waste of energy, and I will be on into next week, fixing up the sprints, and by the end of next week, because time estimates are a waste of energy. By the end of next week, I hope to be building out the swim lanes and being able to drag tasks back and forth across swim lanes into progress. Well, that's the goals. So thank you all. Have a great weekend. See you again soon. Week.
Okay. I've never known what it's like to have someone else drop off the call. I'm always first. That was
You should have
nice.
just dropped while he was saying it. So you...
Keep it alive. All right. Oh, what do we got?
Peter, you know
guys can't hear me.
DevOps things.
Yeah.
Oh, now we can.
I know nothing.
Yeah. What do we got?
So, with this new refactor, if we approach it with like the strangler fig pattern, where we slowly, just extract and move, and it takes over, the code base, or the new code takes over the old code over time. I was looking at, I don't know, some YARP stuff, but then it had me question, like, .NET Framework can run in a Windows container, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I know there's going to be opinions on that. I'm curious about just like the possibilities.
Yep.
Just because this is one thing that I may just test out. And a Windows container can run in Docker.
See, that's the deal. Here's rant number 3 begins now. Windows containers have the word containers, and they are iterating, and I haven't checked in on them these last few months, but from my understanding, a Windows quote container is a full-blown VM, and it needs a host that can run Windows VMs, and it does not work like the Linux, they call them namespaces, to power containers, because Linux containers are in fact like just namespaced processes and things. So you can, anyway, lots of words. Windows containers, basically just think of them as a big heavy VM until maybe they improve them over time. But that's okay. If you promise to kill off your Windows container later, maybe you can keep running it. But just like, it's a totally separate thing. I said in my presentation a year ago, which hilariously I just rewatched because I love smelling my own. Anyway, I was saying Windows containers should be spelled different, because they really are like, they are not the same thing. They happen to share a few commonalities with Linux containers. Anyway, any other questions?
Well,
Yeah.
No. Well, actually, no, because I didn't get my question answered. So that's a no for Docker, essentially.
Not in Docker can run one engine at a time, Linux or Windows. Apparently, it supports Windows containers, but it has to be. I'm dying. Separate from. It has to be separate from the Docker running Linux containers. So.
Okay, that's fair. So I'll tell you where the nightmare situation that I was thinking about putting myself into. Wrapping .NET Aspire around our framework app.
Okay. Oh, around framework app. Okay.
Yeah, because it has container support, but if it's just going to be Linux containers, that now limits everything. But, and just figuring out the new bugs that I'm going to cause by trying to attempt something like that.
Can you run it just outside of a container? Does it have an option for like run this in a terminal? Because I know they have backends of like Kubernetes, Docker Compose, and then hopefully there's an other. By the way, there's a question from chat that one promised we'd answer. Brayden.
Ow.
I thought you were gonna load the "Just Do It" video where he's just yelling at you to just do it.
Do it. Just do it.
There we go. pretty good.
Yeah, definitely don't follow exorcism. I'm pretty sure they meant exercises, but yes, I like the exorcism. So I recommend that YouTube video. It's a pretty good. I think it's like an 8-hour talk about C#, and he goes over a lot of really, really foundational, fundamental things that are going to help you. Then I would just recommend pick a project type, like pick some kind of thing that you would want to be able to use yourself. Like for me, it was a financial management tracker or a to-do app, which just about everyone does, and see if there are tutorials out for how to do it. This approach doesn't necessarily work for everyone, but if it works for you, then try it out. But go through that tutorial. Just if it's a video tutorial, just watch it beginning to end, try to absorb the information, then watch it again while doing the stuff with the presenter, or read through it if it's written, of course, and then try to do it on your own after that. Try to do the exact same tutorial on your own, beginning to end, referencing back to the tutorial itself, and then finally get to a point where you can just do the tutorial yourself without needing to reference back and add stuff to it from that point on. Make it do different things. If it's a to-do app, make it connect to a database. Use Signal R to have it update real time in multiple clients, that kind of thing. I think that's a great approach, in my opinion.
I don't have opinions. I honestly don't, except for the just do it, which I also submitted to chat.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be super loud to me.
You don't have to watch it. I'm just telling you. I sent it. Yeah.
I tried to stop it before it made a sound. It didn't work. Really loud.
So I do think there's a
Shia
lot of
LaBeouf.
there's a lot of like navel gazing, I guess they call it, like where you kind of like introspect and think about how to do this right and how to not waste time. But like, man, just do it. Like there's a lot of stuff, but at some point you need some direction. Like, don't try and write an operating system. That's probably good advice for most people.
I mean, like, if you really want to get into the weeds of things, then yeah, try working with hardware and devices and addressing and all that. But it depends on what you're trying to learn it for. So if you're trying to learn it to make web applications, then probably won't need to worry about things like how to access a sound card. But if you are thinking about creating these large systems for desktops that do need that type of thing, like maybe you want to remake Descript or some application that has AI that uses your microphone and can do it in real time, but you need to access the hardware directly so it goes faster and whatever else, I don't know.
People are
Then maybe making an OS is
different too. Use
Yeah.
Linux as my wheelhouse of OS of choice. Okay.
Yeah, develop on Linux.
Yeah, just I don't know. I will say there are other things you could do. Like I found it fun to implement about 5 hours worth of Monopoly, the board game, and then stopped because it got unfun, which maybe tells you more about me than I should want to let you know. But
I want to
just
piggyback
real
off of that
talk.
when you're done.
Yeah, just cut that from the VOD. It's all good. Anyway, I find it fun to implement board games or card games for a while. I think Advent of Code, the first few days are always fun. They start getting really mathy and algorithmy. But Advent of Code, which by the way is coming up, I completely ignored last year. So.
Yeah, I did too. But like to piggyback off of what you were saying, I would say don't be afraid to start a project and then drop it when it stops being entertaining.
I will also say, Braden, if you're a Linux guy, the one .NET advice I give is that either Visual Studio or a JetBrains product aka Rider or ReSharper, and they actually teach you how to code. And I cannot emphasize that enough. How much they teach you by giving you little squigglies and refactors. So I highly recommend while you're learning to pick up either Visual Studio Community. Yeah. Wait, you said IDE like this, but you're showing OAuth again, which is realm of terror.
I said like those, like the ones that you said.
Okay. Okay. I thought you meant like this, and then you're showing OAuth, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, if you're on Linux, Writer's going to be your best bet because you can't get Visual Studio.
Yeah, it works great. I mean, and you can do it the hard mode, but like you really do want, at least at the beginning, to use an IDE. You can, but it doesn't have as many squigglies or refactors. I've been told. I just don't. Anyway. Missed the techies picker says, heck yeah, Ryder. By the way, you get labeled in the Dota community if you pick a disgusting hero. Techies is
the techies picker.
Disgusting. Yeah, you're a techies picker. Your opinions are no longer valid. We will allow you to speak, but not really, if you know what I'm saying. All right. GUI based C#. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm a long-term Mac lover. Turned Windows user because work forced me on it with .NET Framework 4. Now 8. I got us some migrate from 6 to 8 recently. Ooh.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh man. We're still testing to make sure nothing broke, but now we can start using standards and stuff. Easy. With Braden, I will say that the only reason you should worry about Windows, in my 1 year of experience opinion, is if you're being forced onto .NET Framework 4 point something. And honestly, if you are, like, I'd even what?
Desktop dev. So like I think they were referring to WPF apps, for example, which requires a Windows machine. But I think you can do Maui in Visual Studio Code, which works on Linux, right?
Yeah, I think Maui should be Maui and possibly Blazor Hybrid. I don't know enough about Blazor Hybrid.
And Braden, like I just do web development. I don't believe in Windows apps. Like I haven't had to support one for so long. But like just everything web dev, it does work in Linux. Fine. As long as you're on the modern .NET stack. So there you go.
Yeah.
I've spoken.
Yeah, so Mojo is continuing.
Oh no, I mean it's just, don't. I wouldn't worry about Windows if there's not a reason to be forced on it.
Yeah.
If you're on .NET 6 and onwards, then do your best to stay on Linux. Well, sorry, don't let .NET be the reason you switch to Windows. I'm not going to go into my Microsoft 8. I already had my one for the day.
But at the same time, yeah, they already said they have a Windows PC. So if you do, you can use Visual Studio Code anywhere. So you'd have the same experience, similar experience at least. But on Windows, like Peter was saying, you have Visual Studio Community, the full IDE. And does Writer work on Linux as well?
Yeah, Writer is perfect. Writer is beautiful.
Yeah,
my work laptop.
Writer is another really good one for cross-platform that you can use on both. That way you can have the experience of working on Windows as well as your primary workstation would be a Linux workstation if that's what you prefer.
I'm waiting to get a Sun 4 so I can just get rid of Windows on my work laptop. I'm just kidding. I can't. We work in Excel and there's a lot of Windows-based Excel features.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Great database though.
Yeah, you know what you're
And
doing
Snubble
there.
is like, I'm thinking a Linux laptop is his next work laptop. Yeah,
I didn't think I'd love
like
the
me,
ThinkPad.
I am a.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you first.
No, you first.
No, you
No,
first.
I'm the host, and I say you go first.
I recently switched out. Okay, you know what? I have a second Microsoft rant. I switched out my Surface laptop at work for a ThinkPad. Saved us a lot of money because they were trying to buy a salesperson a new Surface, and I was like, no, give them mine. Let me get a ThinkPad. Absolutely love it. Didn't think I would enjoy, like, actually use little mouse on it. But, and this is my Microsoft rant, they are selling laptops with this Copilot button on it for business use cases.
Yeah.
And they just broke, or they just unified Teams, but they just split up Copilot. So this Copilot button doesn't work anymore for business on your work account, because they split that into the web app only. But yeah, I was mostly just trying to say ThinkPad's been great, and I can run Fedora on it, no problem.
The secret is to just pretend nothing Microsoft has invented since Windows 7 exists. So, Cortana, do you all remember Cortana was a thing you could have tried to make work? No one even tried, honestly. Y'all, I feel like as a whole, as a world community, we need to get voice commands working better. Like I've been doing that on my iPhone a lot, but like voice commands everywhere. Like I'm a slow typist, so I gotta speed it up with voice anyway. That's all.
I like dbeaver. The only complaints I have about dbeaver, this is to Miss Doda, is the UI font scale doesn't work very nicely. It's easy to use, but oh my gosh, trying to scale things so you can actually see them when you're sitting about 6 feet away from the screen. Oh,
All right,
I have a question for you real quick, Peter.
Oh, you better get it, and then I'm gonna give my stand up. It's time.
The worker service.
Yeah.
Is it intended to be able to do pub sub as well, or were you expecting an actual secure server on the back end?
This thing is literally exists. Basically, I'm gonna keep it where it is. Everything stays where it is. If I start growing it, maybe we split into multiple workers. But like the essence right now of whether or not we start with multiple workers is the bootstrapping process. So like getting a valid token, connecting to Twitch once, like is that the same if you're using 5 different Twitch APIs, or are they actually independent of each other? I don't know the answer to that. So it's probably
Well, that doesn't help me because I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to have it reference my server service or not.
I don't have a server service. That's a secret.
Well, I have a server service that I'm going to move your connection code into.
It would go into TwitchBot service, right?
Yes, but the client side, where it only does an IRC or Signal R connection to a server, or are we going to be like connecting to the Twitch API directly from a worker service, which includes pub sub messages?
If it's only called once, I would put it in the same service. I'm getting this old man module thinking, where like instead of classes that do one thing, I think of them as modules that do basically one thing. And what that ends up meaning is my classes end up with a lot of responsibilities, but they're all there. So I'm turning into that guy. All right, we've got a lot of chat. T4 in the project. Moja, I'm just going to skip whatever you're reading. It's not valuable.
It's
That's
okay. You
messed
guys
up.
are on VS Code.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. True. It's rough.
I'm on full
It's rough,
Visual
but
Studio.
true.
Visual Studio proper.
But yeah, I would put TwitchBot off, assuming it's not sharing credentials with anything else. I would put TwitchBot off. The bootstrapping, the logging in, the connecting, all that goes in the same class. You asked me, so there's my opinion.
Yeah.
If it's shared, then you maybe split it into its own service, but then you have like dependent services, or maybe you even just have a helper method with like a deadlock type thing. I don't know. What's up?
Like my intent is to have all of my credential models to pretty much be the same, whether it's going to be for Discord, YouTube, or Twitch.
Oh no. I don't know if it makes sense. Like the username and access token should be maybe shared between services, but like yeah. Anyway, good luck. I've never seen another implementation of this. And by the way, those are screaming caps because I expected them to be filled in with environment variables. So
Right.
just FYI. That's why they're the way they are.
Correctly.
And by the way, ever since get set, I'm like an old programmer. C# get set, like the implicit getter setter, was like the first time I was like, oh man, they saved so much code. I'm so glad they did this. And then they implemented, like every year, it's like, hey, it's a new feature. We're going to make it, was it read only? There was a read only set. There was a.
Init, private set.
Init, that was the one.
Init,
yep. Private set existed a while ago.
Protected set.
Like, there's so many options. Then you can say get, and then I think they added one more for the newest C#. I forget what it is. Anyway.
Yeah, I forgot what that one is, but I like it. Whatever
Ryder will tell me.
I remember being excited
for
it.
Field. Fuel is telling us field keyword, which sounds right. Oh.
Partial properties. I like the whole thing where you don't have to create a backing field when you're doing a full property. I don't know if that's making it into .NET 9 or not. I just remember them talking about it.
And I don't even know.
So like if you wanted to turn this into
this whole thing is like it lets you define a interface without requiring the implementation to stay the same. So you can add a behavior later, but most people's DTOs, like the way most people deploy and the way most people's DTOs are without any behavior, like it doesn't matter. Anyway, there's rant number 4 or 5. I've lost count. All right, I need to get out of here. Okay. It's been an honor. I just want to say that I am behind on all my work, and I will also say that time is meaningless. And I'm just echoing what the other guy said about time being meaningless. Estimates are meaningless. The concept of the modern workday is meaningless. So I want y'all to stew on that. That no blockers.
Zoom.
Dang.
There he goes. I take it you haven't seen a Peter stand up?
No, I have. He's never been as philosophical.
Oh, that's what you were dinging about. Yeah, we can definitely get into the.
Ask him to circle back. Go ahead.
We can definitely get into the esoteric topics of what is time anyway.
Yeah, something that we don't have enough of left on the stream to get into what is time.
Let's talk about. No, I'm not going to talk about quantum theory, string theory. Although I have a really good visual for it, for how to understand time in multiple dimensions and all realities existing at the same time. But we're moving on. So what else? What else, Mojo? What else?
Well, I think I hit my first full year as a developer recently.
Woo!
I'm managing my team from the bottom of the ladder. General chaos and stuff. Recently, we were discussing was it last Fridays or was it just earlier this week? Your journey, like, and how you got back where you were, why you left, but then how you got back.
Yeah.
And being a solo, like a team of one, actually sounds really nice some days right now.
I don't want to encourage antisocial behavior, but sometimes there are situations where it might be the best move for you.
Which is fair. I know I've talked about it with TVD a lot. I mean, the major reason I think I wake up every day for TBD stream, other than him just being a cool guy, is that when I first started watching a stream, I was trying to figure out why my team had a planning problem. We have a lot more than a planning problem. We're 3 people who cannot function as one unit, and just all deadlines have been missed on anything. Just general dysfunction and chaos, and yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Just reflecting a year in to this as a career, and finding out that the problems. Well, everybody has similar problems. Me realizing that these are questions. The questions that I would ask, given my current context, are not easy questions to answer. I can't ask how should we do agile, because it's more, now I've realized it's more about how do we even introduce a new process on a team that doesn't know how to work together and stuff like that. And some days I'm just like, I could figure it out without having blockers, and blockers being just people.
Yeah, in most cases, for me at least.
It's how it is for me too. I have written no code almost this week because I'm just waiting. Yeah, but we're doing the refactor the right way, or the revamp the right way. Well, these are all opinions, but I have not met a single person who, in the business setting, has done both a rewrite and a refactor, and would recommend doing a rewrite. I've only ever heard I wouldn't do that again. Which gives me hope that we are doing the right thing.
I completely agree with what Snubble said. He said, I think you should get an external person in that helps you out. That has been very valuable for me before. And that's kind of what I do with Twitch. I come to you guys, and now that I'm back to streaming my work, I'm getting really good insights and different approaches for things that I'm working on. You help me get unstuck just by even the lurkers just being here and letting me rubber duck. And then if you aren't even able to respond at all, I still feel like I'm getting something back from you, where it's just borrowing your mental power. So helpful.
I was wondering where it was
going. Available for consulting.
So I have thrown it. Well, Dendel, when I joked about using you, you were like, "Why do you want to do that to me?" I'm just kidding. Well, he did say that. I'm not kidding about that part. But I have thrown that out, and essentially, it's going to take me a lot of time to convince, boss man that he he should like offer some level of trust to people who do this for a living, because it is their living, and it is in their best interest to not defy that level of trust, given to him. But essentially, he's just like a hard no right now on getting any outside help, because that's exposing our code, quote unquote. But he's not technical. It's also just, just business. Like,
yeah,
it's
I
in
would have thought
everybody's
it's more
best
like we
interest
can't
for
afford
like it
that.
not to be shared. Yeah. These days it might be, but it wasn't. I just got new. Like we spend money on Surface laptops, brand new. I'm like, nah. And they're not like bad laptops. They're just like kind of pricey. They're like MacBooks, but Windows version. That might be a hot take. But yeah, everybody. I don't know. One day I'll have a proper thank you for everybody here, because I don't get like what I would like to get through work and the Twitch community. Starting with 1-1 Lines community has been, or just this was my introduction, and then
it's your
everybody who's in
too.
yours. Yeah. Well, it's mostly like I would be a very I think I would be a very bad just developer in general, because our work code is an awful starting point for any new developer.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you a bit on that. I don't know you 100% or anything, so I'm not gonna claim that this is absolutely true, but I have a feeling that you would have still sought out some resource that would have gotten you more comfortable with coding, and you'd still be just as good a developer.
I'll say that's you are correct on the coding piece of it. But being effective and actually being able to like bring some of those into the work code, I don't think I would have been able to get through self-learning. Kind of the workplace dynamics bit of it, where like, hey, yes, I understand this is a new pattern being introduced, but here's my backing for it, because we need like there is no pattern in this state, like in our code. There's just nested conditionals, and I don't know. It would give most people a heart attack, I think. Like TBDs, like I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen much that's this bad. So yeah, there is the coding aspect, but then there's just like the workplace dynamics of it all that Twitch brings, or Twitch Discord. That was one of our product owners.
Yeah, and I feel like teams would be very effective and can be, but it's just really difficult to find enough like-minded people working on the same thing with the same work ethic, even if they have different opinions on how things should be done, or how to implement the actual solution, but that they care enough, or at least the same amount as each other, on a project, or on the importance of certain aspects of it. Like, is it important to implement these things that prevent user mess ups? Like, can we do user oriented programming?
Yes, and that's where I've been at this whole time. I've been like, hey, like, we're sitting here trying to plan 100% of a rewrite before even starting, and we have nothing to show for it. Also, if we're going for a 1-to-1 feature parity, quote unquote, the users aren't going to feel a difference. They're not going to notice anything. And it's going to take us a year. So, yeah, it's I have unintentionally become the PM now. I've also been, so we have one value add in our product. Everything else is built around it. Like our login, authentication, everything we integrate with is built around the one thing we exist for. This is the one file that's 11,000 lines. This is the one that has this one method essentially that is 7,500 lines.
Yeah.
Is our value proposition to the world.
Jeez.
It's what sets us apart. And me being the most junior developer, was tasked with refactoring it. Which TBD is, I don't think he's necessarily mad at me per se. He's just like, I can't believe like the senior most developer, who's technically the should be the de facto manager, isn't the one overseeing and like laying out the plan for that. So I'm just winging it.
Right.
I mean, I'm kind of winging it. Like I went through a Gilded Rose kata recently, a refactoring kata. Got to learn a lot from it. And I brought that back to my team and I was like, hey, like, here's how we can refactor. We're gonna add tests because we have no tests, and we break every time we deploy a new feature, release a new feature. There's like 5 deployments of that like branch or just that feature until like we are done putting out fires. Every feature release is a fire that we add in the system because we're just bad at working together, listening, planning, not being a solo
Getting
developer.
team-oriented things, you mean?
Yeah, being adults, but it's something 30 for you. So yeah,
it's like we could joke about that and go to the extremes of, yeah, but if you do it this way. But we could also approach it like adults, like we know how to communicate with each other and negotiate and actually talk about the situation. No,
yeah,
not on the teams I've been on. But anyway, I need your stand-up, sir.
Yes, I am going to be. I'm just working on. I don't know what I'm working on work-wise. I'll be apparently. Hopefully. I don't know. I always say hopefully streaming soon, and then I don't. I get caught up in like work stuff. So that's the refactoring kata. I think that's a cool thing to check out. That's like my final solution for it. If you go far enough in the commit history, you'll see where it started and where it ended. Probably over extracted it a little bit, but outside of that, my stand-up is no blockers, and that's it.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Do you have any final words for the wonderful people watching and listening in?
I do. Actually, life coding kind of already said it. I got 2 books. I got the black and red refactoring book, and then the Martin Fowler or the Michael Feathers one. So those are going to be what I'm reading over the next thing. Refactor your code, test your code. Don't let it get to the point that my code base is at. That's my only advice.
Nice. Well, thank you again so very much for hanging out with us and sharing your insights and conversations.
Oh, thank you for having me. Until next time.
Absolutely. Until the next time. So yeah, that was a whole bunch of people. We had TBD, we had Peter, we had Mojo. Thindle wanted to join, but he stepped away because he was on a pretty long stream earlier with Code It Live. Like I said, it was a cool stream. If they do VODs, definitely check it out. Good times over there. No worries though, Thindle. Thank you so much for at least having the desire to join us today. That's really cool of you. They do VODs. Cool. But yeah, until then, or unless or whatever, definitely feel free to follow Thindle as well on Twitch. But not chatbots. Vision. Yes, they were working on AI. So I'm going to go to this screen because I do need to get back to work. On Mondays and Wednesdays so far, I have been streaming my work products. So I'll be back again on Monday and we'll take a slice out of my work day and go through that. I will probably be adding Tuesdays and Thursdays eventually, or starting my Mondays and Wednesdays earlier and streaming more of the work product stuff. I was just getting back into the swing of things and found out there are situations where I need to be more cognizant of what I'm doing and saying on stream. So I will work on that. and we'll see on Monday if I've made progress. I do intend to see progress pretty immediately. And I keep saying progress because Code It Live's channel is Progress, a company called Progress, and that word is stuck in the forefront of my mind. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the rest of my workday to finish it out. Does anyone have any potential raid targets that are doing app development and or game development using C#? That could be Godot with C# or Unity with C#. Unity 6 came out yesterday. I got to watch that. That was kind of fun. Oh, I didn't even do my stand-up. Thanks, Dugasoff, for reminding me, Ish. But I guess I'm now done with my stand-up. My stand-up is I'm going to do my workday. You're feeling an encore? I mean, I could stream the rest of my day. That's up to you. Lana Lux. So I'm kind of afraid to raid big streamers. I mean, I definitely support her. Her streams for sure. But I yeah, big streams scare me. And if you couldn't tell, I'm not really big on yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Pirate Software is on. Yeah, I don't know. I'm big in Japan, says Snowball. Are you? Don't Godot there. Oh, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do then. I am gonna stop my stream, and I will, so that it's easier for me to export the VOD to YouTube and put it in the right playlist. But I will go ahead and finish out the last 3 hours of my workday on stream. We'll see how far we get. Totally up to you whether you stick around or not. You're definitely welcome to, but I'll do an encore. Okay, thank you all for now. I'll be right back. I still need to do the waving thing because that's my shtick. Water break. Yeah, I do need to refill my water bottle, but I'm pretty much just going to restart the stream after I change the title and everything. Okay. Intermission. Do 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 do. Camera. Music.